Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY TV video. I'm joined today by Nick Briscoe. He's the Country Manager for Australia of Currencycloud. Welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Alex. Pleasure.
Thanks for taking the time. Now, Nick, can we please start at the beginning? Can you tell us a bit about Currencycloud, its history, and the story of its operations in 2022?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Currencycloud was founded in London in 2012 as a very traditional foreign exchange brokerage firm. So what I mean by that is customers would be calling up, placing an order to convert funds to another currency, and then paying those out in a relatively manual fashion to a beneficiary. Um, if we fast forward now to 2022 and what the business looks like, it has been through what I think is just an absolutely phenomenal growth trajectory through that 10-year period. In contrast to the model that I mentioned to you earlier, is now a completely automated solution that we provide out to our wholesale customers, where they can take a full tech stack, access to global markets, to allow them to collect funds, convert those, and pay those out to through 35 different currencies to 180 different countries globally. So completely different solution to where the business started. And as I said, I think that growth trajectory has been absolutely phenomenal. That's happened through a combination of a few things. The first component, I think, is excellent management, a really solid execution plan. And all of that has been done off the back of the main component, which is a vision, and that vision exists inside the business today.
You'd be a great case study for digital acceleration.
100%, and I think digital acceleration over a very short space of time. I think it's often an adage that people sort of massively overestimate what they can complete in 1 year and massively underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. And Currencycloud is definitely a case study for that.
So who are your customers? Are they banks, financial institutions, private companies, or just everyday individuals?
Yeah, so not the last two so much, and certainly not individual consumers. We target banks, foreign exchange brokerage firms, and fintechs globally. And importantly, we would class it as a B2B to X model. So our end clients could either be B2B themselves or B2C, but we're not targeting the end consumers. So we think that's a very important distinction in that it avoids us competing with our clients for the end consumer of those services. So we want to be the business behind the scenes, powering our clients to provide that global cross-border payment solution and multi-currency wallet to their end consumers.
And I'm assuming or imagining that it's very competitive in that there must be a few different players in this market, and offering the best rates is one of the key things that you offer.
Look, it is. It is a very competitive landscape, but I think probably one of the most important things is, as I said, we're paying out 35 different currencies to 180 different countries. Although we can sort of say that as a one-liner, it's beneath the surface where you actually see the most important component, which is our global network, which allows us to provide those services to customers at a cost-effective price point, and importantly, quickly and easily, in the sense that our APIs are very easy to integrate to and they can go to market quickly. But in regards to the competition, I think it's almost impossible to find a competitor that has the scale of Currencycloud and the ease of integration. So it is a very important distinction, and certainly we cover a lot of ground with regards to our global network of paying out.
Yeah, well, every company has to have its unique selling points. But you mentioned go-to-market. So what is your go-to-market model here? Are you selling direct, through partners, or both?
Yeah, so it's very similar to the strategy that has been exceptionally successful across EMEA and North America, in the sense that we will be going direct to our customers. But we are open to partnerships, and we do take those on where it makes sense strategically for both sides. They're mostly tech providers or core banking platform providers where we're integrated with them, and then, for example, can provide a cross-border payment solution and multi-currency wallet to a neobank or a digital or a challenger bank globally, and we'll be completely integrated with their core banking platform for a seamless experience for customers.
Yeah. Now, earlier this month, Currencycloud announced the granting of the official license to operate in Australia. So, what are your plans for Australia, and how is this going to change things for Currencycloud?
Yeah, look, the main component is that means we can start hiring here and servicing our customers onshore. So that means obviously we'll have sales staff based here in Australia as well as customer support staff. So although we've sort of been through 2 years where everyone was used to video conferences and talking on the phone exclusively, it means we'll now have staff here out chasing customers and servicing in a much more personal manner here. We already have an installed base of customers that were serviced out of our UK office. And obviously, we're looking to execute on our growth trajectory. So building out that team here in Australia is critical for us. The AFSL allows us to do that. And then the other critical component of the license being granted is that it allows us to increasing our banking network here in Australia and take on a couple of banking providers, which for our presently installed base of customers allows them to transfer funds into us in a real-time environment, get those funds into the Currencycloud ecosystem, convert those to another currency and pay those out. Again, speed being the most important component of that to get the funds to the ultimate beneficiary in a really efficient manner and cost effectively, obviously.
Yeah. Now, Currencycloud was also recently acquired by Visa. So, what strengths does this bring to Currencycloud that you've been able to immediately implement?
Yeah. Nothing immediately, if I'm quite honest with you. I think it's very early days. The transaction completed in December 2021. So both Visa and Currencycloud are working on our go-to-market strategy jointly. I think we were just talking just before we started this. I think the most critical component of Visa is obviously it is one of the most trusted financial services businesses globally. And that has been a feature of the financial services industry through a range of big events like the GFC, where a lot of trust was lost in financial services firms. That is not true of Visa. It is ubiquitous and it is a household name and very well trusted by all of the consumers of its product. Currencycloud will fit under the Treasury as a Service model for Visa. And we're really excited about, obviously, the huge scale that gives us. And we're really excited, obviously, about the huge scale that we can then onwards deliver to our clients as well. But as I mentioned, it's still early days and we're still working through what exactly that's going to look like and how we can get the most efficiency out of each other's products and services.
Yeah, well, it's good to have a big partner by your side, and no doubt they could
Very
see
much
all
so.
sorts of synergies there. So, but looking directly more at the markets, what do you see? There's a lot of inflation, there's a lot of volatility. I mean, are things as volatile as we're hearing?
The interest rate environment makes it more challenging for particularly startup firms who are going through funding cycles and need to sort of move through that to enable their business to get to a more stable footing and on a better growth trajectory. But what I would say is we all operate in a market. Markets have been volatile since the dawn of time. And what we're seeing right now in terms of the fintech landscape and the digitization of financial services is not a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year thing that's going to be occurring. This is a decades-long change in the way our financial services industry works. So this is one hiccup, for want of a better phrase. We're going to have more of them. I think everybody who operates in the industry just needs to stay focused on their end customer and meeting their needs, as well as the business they're operating, and don't pay too much attention to the headlines. So I think we need to look through that and, as I said, stay focused on the end customer, and in most cases that will hold people in very good regard.
Yeah, I think Shakespeare was the one who said, "'Twas ever thus." And also, most things in life are hyped up too much or too little, and humanity seems to muddle through. So yes, I don't count the. It's not the end of civilization anytime soon. I don't think.
Yeah, very much so. And I think if we sort of look back to 2021 as well, and in a broader region, just short of $28 billion was invested in fintech firms in the Asia Pacific region, and I think it was across sort of 11 or 1,200 deals. That's going to slow down. We've sort of seen that slow down already, but it's not going to take much for people to sort of get back on and realize the huge growth trajectory, and most importantly, just the decades ahead of us of that changing and finance becoming much more embedded into all of these different e-commerce platforms, the ERP or enterprise systems that businesses use, and the financial service component of that to become critical to the operation of their businesses and efficiency and lowering transaction costs in all different environments, some of which haven't been considered just yet.
And those $28 billion worth of deals, if there's a bit of a slowdown, it gives all those deals a chance to mature and for those companies to grow. So, I mean, yeah, activity hasn't stopped. It's continues as is life. Yeah. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
So what is next for Currencycloud? Obviously, you're going to grow your team and you are looking for partners in certain areas. But, what does the next couple of years look like?
Yeah, look, for the Australian business specifically, it's really hiring and building out that revenue generating team for the business here in Australia. More broadly, in the Asia Pacific region, Singapore is our operating hub. And again, same story in the sense that we will continue to build out the revenue generating team, but also the operational compliance and risk teams as well. So Currencycloud's story of one is of hiring talent in the region and globally, as well as continuing to build out some of the product components. So as I mentioned, banking specifically here in Australia, to enable us to service our customers more fully in Australia and the region.
And do you plan to hold any events of any sort? Road shows? Or?
Yeah, look, there's a couple of key industry events coming up throughout the third quarter of this year and fourth quarter. So we will be present at each of those and sort of be having some private events for customers and prospective customers around those as well, so they can start to learn about what our growth plans are in the region.
And I guess besides visiting the website, what's the best way to contact Currencycloud and keep up to date with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, look, you can reach out to anyone in Currencycloud at any level of the organization, and I'm sure they will be an evangelist for our business. We're a very open and warm culture inside the business. If you'd like to learn about the Australian business specifically, then people are most welcome to reach out to me directly via LinkedIn or whatever means. Around the Singapore business, the managing director there, Rohit Narang, leads that business. Likewise, very open and happy to talk to anyone with regards to the Currencycloud business.
Sure. Now, look, as we get towards the end of the interview, I always like to ask a couple of personal questions. And the first one is simply to ask if you could please share a memory of your first computer.
Jeez. I think the first computer we owned as a family was a Compaq, and I'm sure a few people will remember that brand. I think they home delivered computers, and I must admit, I don't recall what memory it had in it, but I guess maybe 486 or something, somewhere of that ilk.
Chip, yeah.
I think probably the same thing that a lot of people experienced when they had their first home computer is there's a bit of amazement and wonderment about this new device, which, maybe we'd used in schools or sort of other environments. It's probably also a little bit of a component of saying, what the hell do I actually do with this thing? But I think then we immediately transitioned to playing computer games on it, not realizing obviously the power of what was on our desk and about to sort of shape everyone's lives going forward. So that would be my most prominent memory, I think.
Yeah, and that would have just been before the dawn of the internet. So computers were a bit like a VCR machine. You had to load things into them, and the rest of the time, if there was nothing loaded, you couldn't do anything with it. Now, of course, you connect a computer to the internet and you've got a million things to do.
Yeah, exactly right. I sort of forgot that. That's probably why we went to playing video games, Alex.
That's right. Well, that was something interactive and fun. Yes. Yeah. So my second last question is, what is some of the best advice you've received in life to help you get where you are today?
I don't know if I'd necessarily class this advice. It was more around the culture that my parents promoted within our family. I grew up as one of four children, and the culture my parents promoted was one of being comfortable with failure and realizing that failing and falling down was a natural part of being a human being and trying new things. So it was normalized in our family, but the most important thing was that culture, and maybe you could call this advice, the culture of always getting up and always making sure that you're taking another step forward. And most importantly, regardless of whatever we were pursuing in life, we had to give it 100%.
Yeah. Well, as they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again, unless you're doing skydiving.
Yeah, very true.
And always give 100% unless it's blood.
Very true. Very good advice, Alex.
Very good, Rick. So, what is your final message to ITY viewers and readers, and to your current and future customers and partners?
Look, really simple. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for having Currencycloud on, Alex. Really appreciate it and really enjoyed it. For any of our customers or present customers in the region, or indeed anybody who's looking to learn more or as a prospective customer of Currencycloud, as I mentioned, feel free to reach out to any of us in either the leadership team or even across the sales or any team in the region. Very happy to answer any questions you have, and have a coffee or a drink and talk about Currencycloud and how we can help grow your business.
Well, Nick Briscoe, Country Manager of Currencycloud in Australia, thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the business, and I hope we can talk again in the future.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Thank you. Bye-bye.